Well, I got my rims all done. Turned out pretty good. You can tell. I like that paint. Works really well. Stays on well. Painted the inside too. I grinded them right down. Got all the sharp edges off it, so nice and smooth. Nicely painted. I got all four done. So it's going to look a lot nicer, and the tire will go on a lot easier. And if I have to take them off, it'll be a lot better than last time. So now the next step is to clean up the brake hubs here. So I'll be doing the same thing with those. I'll be giving them a good cleaning and sand them down, scuff them up, and give them a shot of paint. So I'll be using the same as this. They're the aluminum paint. Hello YouTube. Doing the brake hubs, whatever you want to call them. This is the front one, of course. I've taken it all apart. Here's the gear, and mine was really jammed in there. It was, I don't know, it's probably been like that for a long time. What I think he did is that he broke the speedometer cable. There's no speedometer or cable left, so, and it looks like he bent these tabs back so that it wouldn't turn or whatever. Anyway, eventually it got seized on the shaft right here, and it was a pain in the butt to get out, that's for sure. Now, I wanted to clean all this up. It was full of mud and old grease, and I took out this gear also. Now, some of you guys are probably wondering how I did this, so it's pretty easy. What you do first is, when you clean all this up, you'll notice you get a little brass screw right here. And I've got it right here. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. It's right there on the end of this lever. I set it right there. So you take this out, flip it over, put this somewhere on a vise or something so it won't move, and then take a screwdriver and give it a good hit on the on this side right here, right there with the flat screwdriver. So you're going to be hitting it this way, so inside here. I'm not too sure if you can see it right there, and this will pop out. Okay, so without that screw, this will pop out. You can clean it all up. Mine was full of dirt, little rocks, and old grease and everything, so I didn't want to put it back together that way. So I'm going to put this back together, and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, the first thing you do is you take this here and this. You gotta put it back together. Okay, take these two pieces right here and put them back together like this, right? That's how it goes inside this right here. Like that. Okay, so you gotta push that in. So you get something that's soft right there, and just pound it in right there. See that gear? It'll go right inside, right there. And then you put back that little screw right there to stop this from backing out. So you got to make sure you line it up. As you can see right here, screw goes in there. So you got to line it up, just like this. Okay, so I got the gear back in, as you can see right here. So this should be able to turn this. You should be able to turn this freely, right? So right here. And then you can see inside here that little notches where the cable goes in. Everything's nice and clean. Also, I put that little screw back, as you can see right here. And I've also put a bit of Loctite, because I don't want this thing to come out. Also, for a trick, to press this back in, use a vise. So just kind of use this right here, this shelf, and on the other end, and slowly tighten it up. And just periodically check to make sure the little holes are lining up here for where that screw goes. Because you don't want to go past it. If you do, you got to take it back out. So a better shot here of what you do to take it out, now that the gear's back in, what I did, of course, take the screw out, right? And then I took my flat screwdriver and I put it right there, on that little lip right there. And I give it a good whack with a hammer and the screwdriver on the tip of the flat screwdriver right here, and it popped out. It worked for me, so hopefully it'll work for you. So now the next step is to drop the gear, which I have right here, right there. But I'm going to put a thin film of grease around this here and then drop it in. But before I do that, of course, I'm going to give this a quick scuff, give it a good coat of paint, and then I'll be able to put that gear back in and get ready for a reassembly. And just to give you an idea what it's going to look like, here's the other one I just did. Came out pretty good. Same thing with the hubs, right here and right here. Those I'm waiting for bearings to come in. And if you're not in a hurry, order the bearings online, because they're way cheaper. They're 6301s, 2RS, basically means that they're sealed on both ends. I went to a bearing shop here locally, and they're going to be like about $20 Canadian each. So I'm looking at $80 here for 4 bearings. So I went online and punched in 6301 2RS on eBay and found the same bearing, same brands. Sure, they're from overseas, from Hong Kong, but free delivery, and I get all 4 for $13 Canadian. So, you know what? Can't beat that. So I ordered them. So hopefully they'll be here soon, and I'll show you guys how those go in. Well, YouTube, get the front shocks apart. Here's the lower half. Now, to take these apart, it's not too hard. What you need to do is remove the retaining clip, which is this right here. Okay, so if you were to look at it with the shock together, the retaining clip would be inside this recess, right along in here. Okay, so you remove this, and of course this shock here would be inside. I've already separated mine, right? It'd be like this. Once you get the retaining clip off, all you gotta do is basically give it a good yank. Hold both ends and just keep going back and forth really hard, and it will come apart. Okay? Now be warned, you gotta drain these out first. So to drain them out, use this little screw on the side, okay? And then pump it up and down the cylinder and all, and the oil will squirt out. Do not take this very bottom one. There's one inside here. It's a Phillips head. Don't take that one out. First, it'll be really hard to take it off if you can. Then you'll probably end up stripping the head. And if it does come out, they rarely ever seal properly, and you'll be leaking oil from the bottom. So just take this one off, pump the oil out. Once you get as much as you can get out, then do what I just said. Pull both of them together, hold this end and then the other end, and just pull them apart, and they'll come out. Mine, lucky for me, seals came out, everything came out with it. So all you gotta do now is just basically slide the seals out. Once you get them apart, look inside, clean them up really good. Take a look at that. That's what was inside my forks. It probably never been changed. It's really gross. It's brown, almost looks like mud. So anyway, it's all out. I gotta clean the inside. I'm gonna use a rag and some brake clean and spray it in there and just swish it around. Just use lots of rags, clean it all out. Same with the forks themselves. This, I guess these sleeves, whatever you want to call them. Mine, I'm gonna clean them all up. I've got rust on mine right here, both of them. This is the part that's actually covered. You don't see. It's the one where the boot's over top and the springs. So I'm gonna clean them as much as I can. I'll use an emery cloth and also fine wool cloth, and just rub it out, and hopefully it will come out. It won't affect the performance. It'll still work fine. It just won't be it's not as pretty, I guess. But no big deal.
So this will be next, and I'll have to order the fork seals, and I'll put this back together.